Recently, when watching national news networks such as CNN or Fox News, do you find yourself rolling your eyes at the blatant and opinionated so-called facts they are speaking about and wonder if there is a sliver of truth in any of it? If so, you are not alone. Professionals nationwide are commenting on the fraudulence of news channel networks and calling for change. But here's the issue. How do you call for change without infringing on the people's right of freedom of speech? My topic today is the issue of biased news media networks in this country and its negative effects on our society. I am qualified to discuss this topic because of the research I have done on it, as well as the fact that my dad is a political media consultant. So growing up, I got lots of exposure to politics, news networks, and media in general. There are three main points I will discuss in my speech today. First, I will identify the problem of biased news media networks. Next, I will discuss some of the causes of this issue. And finally, I will provide a solution to biased news networks. So let's begin by identifying the problem. My first main point is the growing issue of biased news media networks. In today's society, everyone has an opinion, and everyone feels like they need to share that opinion. And news anchors and hosts have a perfect national platform to voice their opinions and beliefs on. Their views and opinions have noticeably begun to infiltrate what they speak about, and the facts are becoming marred. I have printed off an informative chart from MarketWatch, published in 2018, and it has all the news media networks on there and what side they're on, political side. So you can see CNN is on the left and Fox News is on the right. So CNN is liberal and Fox News is considered conservative. The fact that our networks are so clearly defined as right-sided or left-sided speaks volumes to what our news networks have come to. News networks are supposed to be delivering hard facts, not opinion-filtered news. Today in America, it seems our society's corner of people and things we can put our trust in is dwindling. So it is very concerning that we can no longer trust news networks to deliver facts. We depend on these networks to let us know what is going on in our nation, whether in our government or economy, and if we cannot depend on them to deliver the truth, then who do we turn to? Now that I have identified the problem, I will discuss some of the causes. My second main point highlights some of the causes of biased news networks and how it is negatively affecting our society. One cause of biased news networks is actually the viewers. In a 2005 article titled "The Market for News," Andre Schleifer comments on research that has found readers and viewers have beliefs which they like to see confirmed, and that news networks conform to this in order to gain popularity. And where people are divided, such as political beliefs, the news stations segment the market and slant their stories toward more extreme positions. Another cause of biased news networks is politicians. In the 2016 book titled News, The Politics of Illusion by W. Lance Bennett, he comments on how politicians always feel the need to be at the center of the discussion, even favored over seriously important issues. Even when a reporter tries to deliver a legitimate, truthful story, the tedious battle between politicians over this important story outweigh the actual story itself. And it then becomes a story about power struggles and spin. Since political drama are thought to draw audiences in, these reporters often amp up the political issues and drama in order to earn better ratings. The last cause I will discuss is the market and money, or in this case, lack thereof. As of late, the news market is spiraling downhill. Advertisers of major companies used to play a big role in how news stations earn their money. Advertisers would pay large sums in order to get their commercials played during the news. But now that there are so many advertising platforms such as social media and magazines, these numbers are falling. In a 2019 article published in the Wiley Online Library, John McManus comments on how advertisers and investors play a huge role in shaping news production. And with smaller budgets than before, reporters are more willing to feed into political drama and deliver doctored news to make viewing more exciting rather than real news in order to satisfy the people who pay them. Now that you're familiar with some of the causes of biased news, let's talk about solutions. My third main point discusses the solution to biased news media networks. An article published by the American Economic Association in 2008, the authors Matthew Genskow and Jesse M. Sharpo discussed the growing problem of biased news and a solution to it. Looking at it from an economics perspective, they comment that by increasing the number of independently owned firms can limit bias that comes from the supply side of the news media market. When the government and politicians attempted to manipulate the news in their favor, a competition increase would keep networks more truthful for fear of being called out by other networks. Another solution is for reporters to take more pride in what they are reporting. In the 2004 book, All the News That's Fit to Sell, James T. Hamilton discusses boosting reporter values and morals and how this would positively contribute to preventing bias from infiltrating our news. In conclusion today, I discussed the issue of biased news media networks. There were three main points that I focused on in my speech. First, I identified the problem of biased news media networks. My second point highlighted the causes of said bias. And finally, I provided some solutions to the growing issue. As a society, we are in a very transitional period with a lot of different issues. Biased news media networks is one of them, and I fear if we do not get this issue under control, Americans will lose complete trust in the news media industry.